Thanks, everybody. Thank you so much. Welcome to Build. I'm your host, Ricky Camilleri. Glenn Howerton has gone from making a backyard pilot with his buddies to building and starring in what is soon to be the longest-running live-action sitcom in TV history, to starring in his own network comedy, AP Bio, where he plays Jack, a bitter philosopher stuck in his hometown teaching, you guessed it, AP Bio. Take a look.
Whoopsie.
Marcus, I know where you live.
I retract my whoopsie.
Yeah. So I imagine you guys have all seen this video of me that's been going around?
Which version? My favorite is when you fall off the stage into a shark's mouth.
Oh, and then they cut to a guy in Maury Povich doing an I'm Not the Father dance.
Yeah, fun. Well, so this is our mission for today. We need to delete that video. Now, how do we do that?
Brother, you don't.
It's like when you're standing on a rooftop and you shake all the feathers out of a pillow, and then the next day you say, I want to get all those feathers back.
Did you just quote the movie Doubt?
I just realized something wonderful. Whenever anyone looks up Jack Griffin, the first thing that's gonna come up is Dr. Whoopsie.
Well, that's not good. I'm trying to become the most famous philosopher of my generation. Okay.
Everybody put your hands together for Glenn Howerton.
So one guy in the front row is just so not impressed. You came here with her. You're like, who is this man? Why are we here? This is not how I want to spend my afternoon.
Thank you so much for being here. It's good to see you.
I'm very happy to be here. Just like this guy. Glad to be here.
Congrats on season 2 of
Thank
AP
you.
Bio, a show that I think gets better and better with each episode.
I agree.
And it started really great as well. I referred to it in the green room, and I think you like this, he's breaking good.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, you said it's like a show where a guy's breaking good.
He's a piece of shit when he first starts in the first episode, and
I think that's fair, yeah.
he's becoming a decent person and learning how to care about people.
Yeah, he was like a constipated hard piece of shit at the beginning, and then he's softening a little bit.
Like he still always has, I think, as Sonny would say, someone to do something versus or a mark, if you will. But for the most part, those people are worse than him, and he cares about these kids and the other faculty members these days.
Yeah, I think one of the major differences between this guy and say Dennis is I think he's a little bit of a softie deep down inside. He just doesn't want to show that. He's probably a little damaged when he was younger, probably, got hurt a few times and realized it's better to be superior than to be like everybody else. So he tries to act superior, but I think deep down inside he probably has started growing to love the city of Toledo and the people that work in this high school with him, and he's a little bit of a sweetie and a soft heart.
Well, he's actually been forced to question whether or not he's growing to love the city of Toledo in this new season, right? Lynette, his love interest if you will. I guess you could call her a love interest, right?
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah, the amazing Liz Alderfer, that's the actress
great.
she's so great. I mean, I feel so lucky we're getting. I mean, she's right from the beginning. She stepped onto the set. It's weird to walk into a show as a guest star or whatever. You're surrounded by a bunch of actors who all have a rapport and know each other. She walked in like she was part of the cast right away, and yeah, she's just terrific.
Well, also, your cast as well is filled not just with faces we haven't seen before, but sort of like veterans of comedy. You have Patton Oswalt and Paula Pell. So as a guest star to come on to that, and then you as well, who've got 13 seasons of one of the greatest comedy shows of all time under your belt.
He said it, not me.
I think it's true. It's probably pretty intimidating for anybody to walk onto that.
I'm very intimidating to be around. It's difficult to walk on a set with me and go, that's a comedy legend right there. What am I supposed to do? No, you're right. I mean, look, it's to get to work on a show with guys like Patton Oswalt and with Paula Pell and and even like Mary Lyric and Gene, like they're like comedy improv pros that even though they're not that well known to TV audiences, they're like huge in the improv theater world. It's just such a blast. I mean, it's one of those jobs where I'm literally laughing all day long and wondering how this could possibly be a job.
You didn't start as a comedy actor, though, right?
No.
You were a dramatic actor. That's what you went to school for, and you kind of fell into comedy via, well, your first job was a sitcom, but then you fell into comedy with Mac, and right?
Yeah. I think I always fancied myself a dramatic actor, but like honestly, looking back, I think I I always looked at the world through a comedic lens. I think I'm like actually a very sensitive person in real life, and I think the world was a little overwhelming for me. And I think I think Sunny. One of the reasons Sunny was so cathartic for me is because I just I get so overwhelmed by the amount of shitty people that are in this world that I had to write to those people and make them funny in order to just survive. Because I just kind of can't believe that there are people like that exist. I have to get inside their heads and sort of figure out a way to satirize it. So, and I think I've always been that way. So even when I was doing dramatic work, I think it was inevitable that I was going to end up in comedy, and I will end up doing more drama in the future.
Is that an itch that you saw? I mean, you did Fargo, but I mean, even within Fargo, you were kind of one of the more comedic characters, I think, in that season.
Yeah.
Is that an itch that you still have to scratch, though, is to find the right dramatic role?
Yeah, it's I have a little bit of unfinished business in that way. Yeah.
What does that feel like, unfinished business? Does it linger on your mind, or is it something that you just know might happen?
No, it's it needs to happen. I need to express myself in that way, in a way that's not just purely comedic. Even if it's just on stage, even if it's just in theater. So it will happen. I just don't know when. I'm so busy right now doing 2 comedies that it's hard to even find the time to do.
It's weird that you're here to talk about 2 really great comedies, and I'm like, what about this thing that you don't do?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. When are you going to do the other stuff? Yeah. I don't know. I mean, but who knows? We'll see.
When was the last time you were on stage?
I did. I was at I did a play at the Old Globe in San Diego in 2015, I think. I did some Shakespeare down there, but it was a comedy of errors, so it was a comedy.
Is that your generally? I mean, when you look back, was Shakespeare kind of your thing when it came to dramatic work?
Everything really. I mean, but I do love the heightened language of Shakespeare. I mean, it's funny because you think of somebody like Shakespeare as being so incredibly verbose because a lot of it is just these massive monologues and soliloquies. But the truth is, the amount of thought and philosophical feeling and emotion he was able to fit into one monologue, while long, would have taken any other writer 5 times as long to express that amount of thought in that amount of time. So he was actually quite good at condensing a tremendous amount of thought and feeling into one monologue. So that's what makes him one of the greatest writers of all time. I would love to do more Shakespeare. I think I've tried to. I think some of what making Dennis on Sunny like incredibly verbose and sometimes really really heightened is it's like kind of my only outlet for doing classical theater while doing a basic cable comedy.
When you guys got together and made that pilot, obviously the pilot for Sunny, was there something that clicked for you right away? Not just in the sense that it felt like you were working with your friends, but suddenly you were doing comedy and you were writing it with your friends. Well, I guess you didn't really start writing until the actual season started. But did that suddenly feel like, oh, this is what I should be doing? This is where I should have been for a long time?
No, not at all. I felt like I was totally not. I didn't know what I was doing. I don't think any of us really did. I mean, I think maybe Rob had a little bit more confidence because he had more. I think Rob always wanted to be a writer and a director. He did always want to be a writer and director, whereas Charlie and I just had very strong opinions about what is and isn't funny. And we weren't seeing it. We were like, well, that's, we would watch things. I mean, we were kind of those people sitting at home watching stuff and going, like, that's not funny.
Right.
That's not funny. And then we kind of got to a point where we're like, all right, well, let's put our money where our mouths are. Let's try and do what we think is funny. And so that was always our goal right from the beginning. And it became our barometer early on. It was like, well, I don't care if anybody else thinks it's funny because I think Charlie's funny and I think Rob's funny. So if these guys think it's funny, then we'll just do it and we'll see what happens. And I think in that regard, it was sort of authentic because we weren't trying to make a career at being writers and directors and producers. We just had the opportunity to make a show, and we thought. I remember my feeling was, I'm just going to do whatever I think is really really funny because this may be my only chance to do it. Right. I don't intend to be a writer, so somebody's saying, "Hey, go be a writer." Like, what do you think is good?
Right, you're paying for this. You might as well do exactly what you want.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought, like, well, I'm probably not going to. They're not going to pick it up. We're only going to be able to do one season. This was my thinking. So I'm just going to do whatever I want, and then I'll just go back to being an actor when it fails. I mean, really, that's what. And then we got picked up for a second season. I was like, all right, we tricked them. We tricked everybody. They think it's good. I don't know why. I think it's good too, but they can't. Maybe they just weren't watching it. Okay, whatever. We got a second season. So now we're just going to go even further. We're just going to go. We're like, okay, you like that? All right. Well, now we're going to do this, and then when that fails, I'll go back to being an actor. And then they were like, and FX was like, we love it. and Danny DeVito was like, I love it. I'll do the show. And I was like, what are you talking about? This is insane.
Was there ever a part of it? So when it hits like massive success level, you're at season 6 at this point. It's clear that it's not going to end. You're going into a writer's. I mean, maybe it was never clear to you that it wasn't going to end.
No, around 6 or 7, I was like, oh man, this might not ever end.
I'm wondering. Yeah, did you have that feeling? Like, when am I going to get to go back to being an actor?
Yeah, I don't think I didn't have it in me to quit. You know, I was like, I think they're going to keep making us do this? All right, shit. All right, okay. All right, well,
the Larry
we'll
David
do this.
thing, where like Larry David, when he got Seinfeld, was like, now I'm responsible for this? I don't know. I don't want to do this.
Yeah, now I have to actually do that. I said I could do it. Now they're saying do it, and now I have to actually do it. I don't want to keep doing it. I did it. Come on, I did it. And they're like, here's money. And I was like, all right, I'll do it. No, but you do. I think at a certain point we hit that, like season 7 or 8, we were like, oh God, we still have to come up with more of these. Like, this is crazy. But I think we never lost sight of the fact that we were extraordinarily lucky too, that somebody was saying, hey, do what you want to do. And I mean, the fact that we had a network and a studio in FX Studios and FX Network that was basically saying, we like it, do whatever you want. We didn't take for granted the fact that that's a rare opportunity. I think most shows, a lot of shows, when they get watered down, it's because they have to go through so many filters of like people trying to change. FX never tried to change any of what we were trying to do. If anything, they nudged us, they pushed us to go further often with things, or sort of they were able to also identify what they felt like was working best about the show and kind of key in on that and help us sort of focus in on what was working. But I mean,
the notes that you got never felt like they were sort of like add a love interest or anything. They were
never. Like,
no, this is what's really working. Keep pushing it.
Literally never.
Wow.
Never. If we ever got a note, it was, this is what we like about this one. Can you do more of that? As opposed to, we don't really. There was almost never like, we don't like this. This doesn't work. It was always, we really like this, you know. Or if there was something that they didn't like, it was always like, but if you've got a strong feeling about it and you can defend it, you feel like you have a vision for this, do it.
Do you even get notes from them anymore at this point? And now that you're,
we have to ask them for notes. This is it's the complete opposite story of what you would normally hear from writers and creators on other shows, where you know, if they're lucky, maybe in season 4, if the show's really, really working, they can kind of say, hey guys, it's working. Don't fuck this up. For us now, we have to go to the network and we're like, hey, you guys are really smart. Can you help us? Like, we don't know, like, is this working? You know, because like, so, I mean, sometimes it's nice to get that. And those guys really are smart. I mean, that's why FX is such a great, I mean, they look at FX's shows. I mean, their shows are great. Even when they don't work, it's not usually because they're not good. It's because maybe not enough people watched them, but like.
It didn't find an audience or something, which happens all the time. It could have happened with It's Always Sunny. You just happened to find an audience.
Yeah, and I mean, John Landgraf, who is the head of that whole operation over at FX, is probably the smartest guy I've ever met in my entire life. I mean, I haven't met Donald Trump, but
went to the best schools.
Yeah, well, he knows all the best words, and
he's the best people.
He knows the best people, and. But other than Donald Trump, I mean, John Landgraf really is the smartest guy I've ever met.
He has the best body in America too. I've heard.
Yeah, he's so young. He feels so young, and he's very, very young.
6'7", 225. You know.
Yeah.
Can run a track really fast. Like, he's great.
He's smart. He's smart. He's a good person too.
Hugely good.
Yeah, and very, very happy. He's clearly a very happy man.
Very content, super content.
Yeah, very, very content.
Great relationship with his father, clearly.
Giving, yeah, very, very giving man. Humble.
I didn't want to say it, but absolutely. Very humble.
Maybe the humblest.
Yeah. Incredibly fit. Just looks so good in a suit.
It's just the best. All around.
I've never seen such perfectly fitting ties, to be honest with you.
No one has.
I know.
But John Landgraf. No, and this is like all like, and this is not me blowing smoke. I mean, I don't need to blow smoke up FX's ass at this point. Like they
did it right.
They're behind us. You know, they were very smart. They were one of the first networks to try and key in on some very smart people who had a very strong point of view and say, let's try a thing where instead of picking somebody really smart with a great idea, with a great script and a great concept and a great cast, and instead of putting our hands all over it and muddying it and trying to make it what we want it to be, what would happen if we let people make the show they want to make? It's like a pretty novel concept, like take an artist and let him make his art. You know, and it's like, whoa, like, no, that's amazing. Like, who would have ever thought to like let an artist actually be himself?
And that's kind of what NBC sort of did with AP Bio, I would imagine as well, right? Because they've had some success with other comedy showrunners in the past for a long time, and they went with Mike O'Brien, who this is really his first show, though, right?
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And it was one of my, I was reticent to do it because I thought, well, I don't want this to get put through the network meat grinder and get it turned into like this watered down thing, whatever. Actually, funny.
Have you ever gone through them? You've gone through the network meat grinder before, right?
Not as a, not really. I mean, one of my first gigs was that '80s show, and I was really just an actor on that show, and I didn't know what was going on behind the scenes. I'm sure it did, but I don't know what that was. I mean, I remember doing rehearsals and thinking like, oh, that's a really funny joke, and then it being cut in the next episode, the next version of it, and the next rehearsal was like, oh, that was gone, and I'd be like, that was funny, and they were like, we don't care what you think. I was like,
just put the wig on.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, just wear the wig, dum-dum. Say the words.
The sequin jacket.
Say the words.
Get out
Whiten
there.
your teeth, you stupid. But yeah. But NBC has been. They've been really supportive of this show being what it is, and Mike has such a weird, such a unique sensibility, and that's what I'm always looking for in entertainment as an audience member. I'll watch anything if it just feels like whoever made it has something fresh to say. I think people really are craving authenticity these days. I think we've now been conditioned to see so many things go through a process where too many people get their hands on it, that when they see something that feels authentic, they're like, yes, this feels like somebody made, like, this feels like it came from one guy,
or
one person.
Not even people who work within entertainment and read scripts can sort of predict how most stories are going to go when it comes to television. So people are really hungry for something that just subverts it a little bit, I think.
I think that's absolutely true, which is why I think a lot of times when things do go through the network meat grinder, it's because the way it doesn't work is because people go, ooh, it doesn't work when you turn right on this joke. You're supposed to turn left, so you should turn left. But then the audience sits back and goes, no, he's going to turn. Subconsciously, they go, no, he's going to turn left, and he turned left. There it is. There's the joke that I always know. And some people like that. They find comfort in that, and that's fine. You know, they can sit back and watch a normal show or a normal movie and just kind of sit back and they know the beats. They know what's going to happen, and they kind of like that. Makes them feel smart. But I tend to like the things where I'm like, okay, now he's going to turn. Oh, he turned right. What? What's happening? Like, that's the kind of shit I like. When I'm watching TV, when I'm watching a movie, I'm like, don't do the thing. You did the thing. Shit.
That makes you lean in and go, what am I watching? Who's making this?
Yeah, what is this? The
Yeah.
thing makes me go on the webs on the internets. And to go, who made this? Who did this? Who would do this?
Right.
I love that. That's the kind of shit I'm always looking for. And I think AP Bio does that. I mean, it's one of the things I'm most proud of, and thank God I didn't have to write it myself. Like, that's a lot of work.
But you are a producer on it, aren't you?
Yeah.
So how much do you get involved with the writing or anything, or is?
I was a little more involved in the first season just because I didn't know how to take a backseat and just kind of let it ride. So, you know, if anything, I was maybe kind of going, hey, I know what works and this doesn't work. And you know, to Mike O'Brien's credit, when he felt like I was right and it fit in with his vision of what the show should be, he made the change. He had no ego about it. But when he felt like I was wrong, and there were quite a few times where in retrospect I look back and I go, oh, I don't know about this, man. This doesn't make sense to me. My alarm bells are going off. I don't like this. And he would go, trust me, this is going to work. then I had to go, okay, I don't want to be that network executive that tries to turn this show into what I think it should be, because I already got my show. I did my show. You know, let's let this guy make his show. He's got a vision for it. I was like, as long as you can defend it and you feel strongly about it and this fits in with your vision, you have a very strong reason why you're doing this, do it. And I'm so glad, because I was wrong. I was wrong. I mean, it's what makes, I'm glad that he didn't listen to a lot of my ideas, because it would have gotten closer to maybe Sonny or whatever my sensibility is. Instead, it's Mike O'Brien's show, and it should be Mike O'Brien's show, because there's only one Mike O'Brien. We've already seen the Glenn Howerton show, and I want to see the Mike O'Brien show.
Do you remember any of the ideas that you were like, I don't think this should happen, and then it ended up working out?
I got worried sometimes. That some things felt too broad to me, my definition of what was too broad. And in terms of the style of AP Bio, some of the stuff that I thought was maybe going to be a little too broad plays really, really well within the world that he's created, 100%. The universe that he's created.
Paul Appel is like maybe the broadest thing on the show, but it's
right.
So wonderful within the context of this world.
100%. And as a matter of fact, it's better because they went even further with it in season 2. So that's
right,
a perfect
because then
example.
it becomes weird again.
Yes,
to a certain
exactly.
degree.
Right.
Yeah.
It's almost like, I think it's even better in the second season, because he, rather than going, oh, this is too broad, let me scale it back, he went, it's broad, let's go broader. Let's make her the most insane person ever. And then it weirdly kind of works, you know. Not only does it work, but she's like stealing the show. I mean, she's one of the funniest, if not the funniest person on the show.
Yeah. There's a scene in the episode J'accuse where you guys have the murder mystery party, where she is playing you at the party.
Yeah.
And when she dies, she does a soliloquy and then falls down and then just lifts one leg in the
leg
air.
goes up.
Why? I was watching. I didn't understand why she did that, and I was happy that I didn't understand exactly why.
It's just, you know, somebody like Paula, who's been doing comedy for so long, she stuck her leg up in the first take. And then after that first take, she actually stopped and went, I don't know why I stuck my leg up. Because now I have to do that in every take, and I got to hold it up there. And she was like, and I'm not strong enough to, but I got to figure out how to. But she just knows that that's funny.
Yeah.
So like this is the kind of thing where I think comedy is at its best, or any acting really, any art really, is when your body does something. And you're like, what the fuck? And this happens all the time to me, too. I'll do a take, and I'm like, what is that? What did I just do? And that's the take, because you just start to trust, like, I don't know, my body's going to do stuff. My brain is going to go on autopilot. You kind of get in that place of, like, flow, you know, that people talk about, that play where you're, like, totally in the present, and you let the scene just take you. And you just trust that sometimes your body's going to do stuff, and stuff's going to come out of your mouth, and it happens all the time, and your face is going to do something weird, and you're going to do something weird. And a lot of times that ends up being the best stuff.
Do you find that on Sunny, because the show's created really by 3 actors, you are consistently setting up scenarios and scenes where you guys can more likely than not find a flow or go into a flow with each other?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the way we shoot it, too.
Yeah.
We purposely shoot it wide. You almost never see any close-ups on Sunny, because I want to see, not only do I want to see you as you're saying your lines, but I want to see the person next to you reacting to that line, because...
Always in disgust.
That's right.
It's always in disgust, the reaction.
Often in disgust. But think about how that, like, I mean, to me, that is what makes something... I think that... I personally think that that's one of the reasons maybe people watch Sunny over and over again, because if you got 4 people in the same shot, you can watch somebody different every single time and go, oh, I never noticed that, like, he reacted that way to that line. It's kind of great. It becomes theater in that way. You can kind of pick a different person to watch every single time. But yeah, we definitely set up and we do that a lot when we're writing too, and when we're doing the rewrites. Our goal is always, my goal when I'm writing with Rob and Charlie is to always say something that's going to make them laugh. Because I have so much respect for those guys' brains. They're so smart. They're so funny that if I can make them laugh, I know I've struck gold. So, and they feel the same way. So it puts that fire in the writing process. Like, it becomes so fun to write. You got to surround yourself. If you're an artist, you have to surround yourself with people that are smarter and funnier, better than you at what you do, and then try to, like, get them excited. You know what I mean? Like, that's what we've done. Like, just trying to get them excited about a story. If I have an idea, I'm like, how do I get these guys excited about it? Because then I know it's good. That's my barometer every time.
Just them. That's the barometer of what's...
That's it. Just them. Just them.
You go when you think about taking something like AP Bio, when this is coming down the pike before you guys are shooting the pilot, do you go to them and say, I'm thinking about this? What do you guys think of it? Do you talk to them about stuff like that?
I'm not above it. I would do that. But also, I mean, but the thing is, like, sometimes also, like, with something like that, they're so picky that with that, I had to trust my gut. I mean, the truth is the reason, but people are always like, why haven't you guys, the three of you, done more together outside of Sunny? The truth is the three of us we are very different. We have very different sensibilities, and it comes together in a really interesting way, in a really cohesive way on Sunny. But it's actually quite difficult to get us on the same page about almost anything else.
Really?
Yeah. So
I've always wondered why Rob hasn't directed a movie yet. I've heard interviews where he talks about his favorite directors and filmmakers, and a lot of them have nothing to do with comedy.
he's not a comedy guy.
Yeah.
None of us are. We're really not. I mean, I'm not just saying that. We don't come from, everything we do comes from a place of like shit we care about, shit we think is interesting, stuff we want to talk about, stuff, you know, and then Sunny is just a vehicle by which it's to satirize that stuff. But like, I mean, Rob wrote Minecraft, and he was supposed to direct Minecraft, and then it just, you know, went through. I don't know that process actually. I was not involved in that, so I don't know exactly what happened, but it fell apart, as often things do. And but yeah, he wants very much to write and direct, and he did, and he wrote and directed an Apple series, which is coming out, which our company put out. So we have a company, RCG. So we do put out things as a company, but we don't, you know, it's often one person's vision filtered through the company. But so Rob and Charlie wrote a pilot for Apple, and that's going to be coming out whenever the Apple slate is released. Yeah. And you know, and that's very much. I mean, obviously Charlie's a big part of that too, but it's very much Rob's like show.
You guys are slated for one more season. Do you feel like you have more in you than that?
We'll keep doing it as long as we keep finding inspiration in it. We may take a break, you know what I mean? But I think there's a very good chance we'll always come back to it.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank fucking God. Because, I mean, when I watch that show, it feels like The Simpsons to me. You could just keep going with this.
I love the show. I really do. And those guys feel the same way. And it's funny because we go through periods where we're all so busy off on our own projects. And Charlie just wrote and directed a movie called El Tonto. I'm assuming that'll end up being the title of the film. But yeah, Charlie just wrote and directed a film. And God, it's fantastic. You know, but we lost him for a while just because, and we weren't working on Sunny, and that was great. And Rob was kind of taking care of the Apple show, and I was doing AP Bio, you know, and then it'd been like months since I'd seen those guys, and we got together for dinner, and it's just like we just always end up coming back together. You know what I mean? I think that we can say so much with what we've created with Sunny. There's so much you can do with that, with those characters.
Were you guys close friends before you shot the pilot, or were you just sort of like like you knew each other and Rob cast you in it?
No, Rob and I. No, we were pretty
close.
good friends. Yeah, I mean,
That's what I thought.
Rob and I we were kind of new friends in a weird way. We'd all moved to LA. We knew each other in New York, but just tangentially, and we all moved to LA around the same time, and just sort of like, hey man, what are you doing? I don't know. What are you doing? Let's hang
I don't
out.
have friends here yet. Let's be friends.
Kinda. Yeah. And but the funny thing is like a lot of the people you see on Sunny were all part of that crowd, like Jimmy Simpson, you know, Nate Mooney, but you know the McPoyle brothers, David Hornsby who plays cricket. You know, we were all kind of amongst the same group of friends, and all of us were writing stuff. We were all creating stuff. We weren't just sitting around trying to be just actors. So, you know, we were just drawn to each other. I don't know any other way to explain it. I mean, it's weird, but we were just kind of drawn to each other.
You know, before I go to audience questions or anything like that, I have one more question about Sunny, and that's you know, Dennis. We've seen him go from a manipulator to a little bit worse than a manipulator. And then in the previous season, he now has a room with doors that he locks on the outside so he can videotape women trying to escape, basically. Which is as close to serial killer as you can get, if not just definitively
Cut
a
the
serial
part where I
killer.
laughed at that.
At what? Like,
That's
can
not
he go further? Is there further you can take Dennis at this point?
You know, it's either funny or it isn't. It's either fucking funny or it isn't funny. And there's some things you look at and you go, that's not funny. That's not funny anymore. I think what's funny about it is not what he's doing, it's the mentality behind it. Honestly. That's the only way it works. What he's doing is awful. Awful. Okay?
Says you. No, it's awful.
It's awful, but it has to feel like it's coming from a place of deep insecurity, deep sadness, and sort of a desperate need for control. Otherwise, it's not funny.
Someone just burst out laughing for a desperate need for
That's
control.
why I create rooms like that.
I'm pretty sure that's why the laugh happened, actually.
The person's like, well, never mind. No, I think if you're going to create a monster like Dennis, you better be damn sure and make it clear that guy is real fucking sad on the inside, is real desperate. But, at the same time, it's like he is pushing the limits of what is possible. I mean, again, you can't do that episode without also saying, because the only thing that really makes that funny, honestly, to me, is that he's like, hold on a second. Hold on. I made sure and had these women sign these consent forms. And I said exactly what this was and what they were going to do. And this was like two consensual adults entering into an escape room type situation, But it's kind of taking that whole escape room idea, to the next level and being like, yeah, but what if it was a one-on-one escape room and it was sexual? You know what I mean? Because some people like that shit. You know what I mean? Some people like that, like, weird, kinky dominance, like, I'm trapped. You've handcuffed me. Like,
in the
people like
world
that.
of
Like,
Dennis, it feels like the logical extension or conclusion of, like, the boat episode where he's like, we're going to drive him out to the middle of the ocean, and they're not going to say no because of the implication.
right. Yeah, but again, that only works in my mind. Because he's saying, no. To be clear, these women are not in danger. They are in no way in actual danger, but they need to feel like they're in danger. And again, I'm not advocating this behavior. I want to be very clear about this.
I'm sorry, are we going to hurt these women?
I am not advocating this. This is not okay? But that's the only way it makes it funny. Because again, you need to be able to recognize that mentality in the world. Mm-hmm. That's the only way it's funny. You need to be able to look at that guy and go, that guy exists. And then maybe, because it's so kind of awful, you need to be able to laugh at it. Because we need the release valve. Otherwise, like, we're going to look around and just be like, oh, it's just misery. You know what I mean? But like, I think you need a show. I think you need shows like South Park and maybe Sunny or whatever, Curb, that like sort of delve into, explore the worst impulses that we have as human beings, and in a way that you can just kind of laugh a little bit and go, oh God, fuck, or like to kind of look at that and go, I've had that thought. I've thought about that. That's terrible. That's terrible. And then you need to watch that person fail because it should fail because it's terrible. So that's why, Dennis always fails. He fails. It's not, he never succeeds at it. And that's the other important component is that you need to see it fail. Because right now we have a president who's showing that you can succeed.
While also still failing hard every day as well.
Yes, but never admitting it.
Yeah, that is true.
He is a character from our show. He really is. It's insane.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just, like you said, unfortunately, we've actually seen him succeed on like a massive level. He's like if Dennis had become president.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's whatever. That's a whole other bag of worms.
You guys.
Bag of worms? Can of worms. A bag of worms. That'd be a mess, wouldn't it?
My last question. I know I got to go to Twitter and audience. I apologize. But you guys did one of my favorite episodes is the episode where you guys don't win an award for the bar. And there's a meta bitterness about not having won any sort of Emmys for a show that is, at this point, one of the longest running, tied, I think, right? Live action TV sitcom in history. Was that just fun for you guys, or was there a little bit of a jab? Like, come on, we deserve an award too.
Well, it's a little bit of both. I mean, I think it on some level, sure, does it hurt a little bit to like never get recognized that by but it's also us recognizing like, oh, who gives a shit? Right. Who cares? Who cares? Like, but then you're like, but I care. I care. Exactly. I care, but who cares? Like, I kind of care, but I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Who cares? I kind of care. Why is this not happening? Why don't I have an award? Not that I care. I don't care. I don't care, but I should have one. I should have one. I don't care, but I should have one. How do you hold those two thoughts at the same time? Is fucking funny to me. Like, it's like, I don't care about awards are stupid. Like, who could, like, like, you won you got best all around in the who's who, and then you grew up to be nothing, who fucking cares? But why don't I have an award? I should have one. It is quite an accomplishment, though, to be this deep.
Yeah.
13 years, no awards, baby. Yeah.
Like, it's true, like, it keeps Sunny consistent on all fronts.
It kind of does. Hold on a second. We did win a People's Choice Award for Best Cable Comedy. Yes, we did. We were not invited to the awards that year. True story. I was in Los Angeles. I knew we had been nominated. I figured we didn't win because we weren't invited to come to New York for the award ceremony. So I was like, all right, we lost. And then I saw on Twitter like, congrats on the winning. And I'm like, it's on TV. I'm not there. I didn't win. That's not pot. No, we won.
Who accepted the award?
They didn't announce the category. and then months went by, and Rob said to his assistant, he was like, "Hey, why don't you call the?" No, I'm sorry. Rob called FX and was like, "Hey, is there an actual award? Like, can we have it?" Like, so we called them, and they were like, "Yeah, we'll fucking mail it to you." They just mailed it to us. They mailed it to us. Nice.
Congrats.
Classy People's Choice. Very classy.
All right.
But we also won a satellite award for Best Comedy. Hey.
Oh, so you have won some awards.
Yes, just not the ones that people actually care about.
Question from Twitter. This is from Sarah McCall. What are your favorite things about working on Sunny and AP Bio, and how are they different?
Just the freedom to do what I think is funny. I mean, that really is the best thing. Like, I feel totally free to do what I think is funny in the moment. And there's no greater feeling as an artist than to be able to go on set and just do you.
A couple questions from the audience. What do we got? Right here.
Hello.
Hi.
I was wondering, what was your favorite subject in high school, and why was it your favorite subject?
I always really liked math. Anything math, algebra. I didn't like geometry. I don't know. It was too many theorems or whatever. Wasn't that in geometry?
Like invisible numbers or?
When math turned from numbers to words. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? That's when I got annoyed with it.
It's like a paragraph.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought math was cool, man. Math was it always felt like a game, like a puzzle to me. I know this is super fucking nerdy and lame, but I always thought math was super fun because it was numbers and it was like a puzzle. It felt like a game to me. And then when it became words, I was like, well, now it's sentences. Now it's boring. And I always liked science too. I don't know. I like the way I like biology. I actually did like biology in high school. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Two more questions. One more question. What do we got?
Hi. I was wondering, what's been your all-time favorite episode of It's Always Sunny, and why?
God, that's a question I get a lot, and it's a really tough one to answer. But I have a few. I really like. I have a real fondness for. I'll tell you which ones I have a real fondness for. I really like Mac and Charlie Die, parts 1 and 2. I don't know. There's just something about those episodes I just really love. I really love The Night Man Cometh. I really love The Gang Hits the Road or Goes on a Road Trip. I don't even remember the name. I wrote that episode and I don't remember the name of it.
Oh, I love that episode. That's where at the top of the episode, someone throws a bottle out the window and it hits a guy on a bike.
Hits a guy on a bike. Yeah.
I laughed. I remember the first time I saw that episode. Actually, it's one of those moments where I laughed so hard at something on TV. I remember it in the past.
Well, I'm a big fan of any comedy that gets into dealing with the process of something. Like the whole going to the farmer's market and trying to find a gypsy to haggle with. that shit's funny to me. To be like, I could pay $5 for this French press, or I could haggle with this gypsy and try to get the price lower. Like, just shit like that is just funny to me. I don't know. Just trying to get from literally an episode about trying to get from A to B, and all and the kind of people who you just can't get past steps 1, 2, and 3. Like, you can't get past your own shit long enough to just drive a car out of a city. Like, that was what I found so funny about that episode, is like watching these characters. They literally can't just take a car and get it out of a city. That's how hard their lives are. Like, that's how messed up they are. So yeah, those come to mind. I like the gang gets quarantined from season 8. Because again, another small episode about like people just losing their shit over the small, like how the news is able to just get you so, it's the same thing with like the Storm of the Century episode. It's like how the news can get you so worked up about something that's really not that big of a deal. You know, but I also love the gang gets quarantined in the sense that they just find out that they're alcoholics at the end of it. Like, that's why they're having all these symptoms. They don't have the flu, they're just alcoholics.
What was it like the final episode of last season where, Mac performs that dance number, and then he was also ripped through the whole season, basically leading up to that moment. But what was it like watching that? You guys sitting down and watching that episode?
I mean, I just,
It's actually, like, beautiful.
Yeah. I know I was very moved by that episode, and it was something that Rob felt very strongly about. He thought it would be very funny to finally, as Mac, do the least expected thing, which is to actually do what he said as a character he was always going to do, which is take that giant piece of slab of marble and carve it. And to then spend the entire season going, hey, look, I did the thing, and everyone's like, why? Why'd you do that thing? But that was also like what I thought was funny about it was this commentary on, if you watch TV, just dudes just ripped all over. It was like, hey, I work at the flower shop. Yeah. But I'm shredded like Lou Ferrigno. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, why are dudes on TV that ripped?
Like, the amount of time that goes into maintaining a body like that is
it's just
insane.
You don't work. Yeah,
you wouldn't have another job.
Yeah, you spend all your day doing that. So it was kind of our commentary on that. Is like, Mac as a person being like, I did this and now how do I use this? And it's like that is not a thing you need in life. You know what I'm saying? We're no longer gladiators. You do not need to. You know what I mean? And by the way, even if we were, you could win maybe a push-up contest, but you still get your ass slaughtered by a skinny guy who knows how to fight. But that last episode, I mean, I think the misdirect. What I loved about it was the misdirect of of the entire episode leading up to that last moment. And I mean, I like to think that after years and years of never having moments of like real emotion and feeling, to have a moment like that was, I don't know, it meant something to me. I felt like it was meaningful, and it felt poignant to me and realistic to me to have his father walk out as he's bearing his soul to these people for his father, and his father's like, fuck this, and walks out. It's fucking sad.
But his real father,
Happens all the
not
time.
his real father, but his emotional father, he still gets
That's right.
the resonance with Danny DeVito, who is in some ways the father of the show.
Yeah.
As fucked up as a father as he is.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, and Frank has shown himself to be one of the most bigoted human beings on earth. But the fact that he was able to take that in, and let's talk about Danny's performance in that last moment. I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen that episode, but his It
was a genuinely beautiful moment after 13 years of just hardcore cynicism.
Well, just to go, it's another stark reminder of just what an absolutely tremendous actor Danny DeVito is. He's just one of those people that you kind of, especially as Frank, you're like, oh, he's funny, he's and you give him a moment like that, and you go, oh, right. That's why he was like one of the biggest actors in the world before he ever did Sonny.
Yeah.
Because he's just incredible, and he can go there, and he will go there, and I miss that in comedy too. I love that in comedy. Like, we should go there in comedy. I'm not a big fan of like funny actors. Fuck that. like big funny shit. Like, but you know, like it should come from kind of a real place. Like a character needs something desperately. That should be what's funny about it. To give somebody like Dennis an absolutely absurd want, to have him need and want something so ridiculous, that's what makes him funny. It shouldn't be funny coming from me. I should be, when I'm angry, when I'm pissed off because my ego was hurt, I should be angry, like really, really hurt. That's what makes it funny to me. So I don't know. I'm a bigger fan of like that comedy coming from a very real place of need and want.
Yeah. The original Bad News Bears.
Yeah.
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 That's my reference for like a comedy that is actually like really dark and filled with pathos and actually quite subtle and mean. I mean, the guy punches his son at the end of the movie because he fails at the game.
I've never seen it.
Oh, you've never seen it?
That's why you're getting this response from me. I've never seen it.
That's why I was getting the sense of, yeah, sure, guy. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's only because I've never seen it. I might agree with you.
I would recommend going to watch
know.
that. I would recommend going to watch that movie.
I will.
I think you'd like it. I love talking to you, Glenn. I love having you here. Thank you so much. You're the creator of one of my favorite shows.
Thank you.
And AP Bio is also really amazing. You guys do incredible work on the show.
Thank you.
It's
I
so
appreciate
funny. There's only a few more episodes left of this season, right? NBC, Glenn Howerton, everybody. Let's hear it.
Thank you, guys.